To Collins, a couple of the veterans from the Hawks. Rod Keogh off to Harvey. First touch for Harvey now, drives it long up towards half forward. Peter Everett in front of Crawshay, takes a very clever mark. Could be 50 against Graham, trying to hold up play, did it effectively. Now Peter Everett will line up, difficult angle, to try and put the St Kilda's first goal on the board.
Well, this is a big matchup, this one. Crawshay coming in for his first game of the season and getting Peter Everett in fine form.
Kick looks pretty good. Close to the line. Goal umpire says it's a goal. Everett's first and St Kilda's first. Good effort by the big ruckman. Comes centre half forward. Missed missed 3 games with a bad ankle injury, Terry.
Yeah, it's a great combination there, and as we mentioned earlier, Elves with all his tall players out on the ground in the forward line, I think that's a very good strategic move, because that's going to stretch what is normally a short Hawthorn defence that they've ended up having to play a player of Mark Graham's stature on low, on St Kilda's midfield, and force him to kick the ball up high like that to low. Yeah, Mark Graham has got good spoiling technique about him.
Salmon and Low. Twisted up towards the 50-metre line. The Saints with the numbers. Opportunity now for them to pick it up through Joel Smith. Out in front of goal. No mark taken by Everett. Crawford was there. Everett a chance for his second. Off one step, goes at goal. Low, 1 metre out. Kicks the Saints second.
Well, the two big fellas combining there, and which is very encouraging, obviously, that whether it's in the air or at ground level, they're going to give everything. And it's interesting there that the 3 big fellas, because Serakowski was the player to be able to construct the shepherd up, giving Everett the opportunity to feed over to Low. So a good combination between all 3 bigs.
Wasn't it a good effort that Everett did keep his feet, Terry? Didn't go to ground. Very important for a half forward, because a lot of the time the halfbacks will run off and then create a good play in front of Jason Taylor, who's had a frustrating year for the Hawks. Darryl Wakeland, ex-Adelaide player. Port Adelaide, that is. Rod Keogh. Changing direction over to Jason Daniels. Wants to move it on quickly on centre wing. Looking for an option. Centres the ball. Nathan Burke. Good play by Burke. Off one hand. Puts it straight through the middle for the Saints. What great recovery by Nathan Burke. Gets his first, St Kilda's third.
He won from Adelaide a couple of weeks back. Burke's kicked down towards right half forward. Getting underneath it is Beveridge, but it's out of bounds, and it's going to be a Hawthorn free kick at right half.
Let's hope it's Barsley.
Well, the one thing about Christian Barsley, he keeps going at the ball and had only eyes for the ball. Wasn't to see that one coming at all.
From Hargrave,
there's no blood. Now it's Nathan Burke's turn. Offloading to Robert Harvey. Good combination. Very familiar one over the years. Harvey around the body. Looking for Stewie Low. Straight into his chest for a well-timed mark for St Kilda. Does not look well. Very distressed, Christian Barsley. He hasn't had a good run of luck in the last 4 or 5 weeks.
He sure hasn't.
Oh, doesn't look well at all. They're taking him off.
Well, they're both going at the footy.
Well, yeah.
From that.
Oh, yeah, classical shirt front.
Wow. Stewie Lowe looking for his second, a kick from about 45 metres. Over the pack. Stewie likes it. A goal. Stewie Lowe's second as Christian Barley struggles towards the back.
Killed a free kick out of the centre anyway. Daniels. His disposal never his strong point. Certainly his kicking, his hand passing was always very, very good, but he has worked on that part of his game in recent years. Good mark. Kick came from Beveridge. Saints go forward again. Jones. Great. Centering kick, Everett in front of Crawshay.
Sensational kick. He wouldn't have got any higher than a metre and a half or 2 metres off the ground. Like a bullet in there.
Crawshay had no chance.
No, perfect position, top of the square.
Now Everett and Lowe combined in the first quarter. They got a couple of goals. They get the first two of the second if he's accurate. I would say that he is. So Everett and Lowe with a goal at each of the first two quarters.
Vic, for pushing and shoving in the ruck. Here we go. Taylor.
No, he's just holding his ground there. That's too soft, umpire.
Disappointing.
So Wakeland gets the Saints moving again. Not much up on the forward line. That's a fantastic mark from Stewie Lowe. Let's go down to Neil Curley in the meantime. He may have some news on Christian Bardsley.
Yeah, young Trevellyn got a neck injury. They've taken him down the room with the doctor and they're checking him outside to wait for the doctor to come back.
Right, thanks, Curl. Stewie Lowe lining up for number 3. Got one in the first quarter. He's got one so far in the second. Three goals for the year now. This could be his 34th, and he's pretty accurate, only 14 behind so far. He's got it. That's his third. The Saints still on a roll at Waverley.
Stan Els must have a bit of an agenda to keep possession of the ball. They're chipping it around a lot, that midfield. The likes of McLaren and Harvey, Sirakoski, getting a lot of the ball. Jenke decides to kick long, looking for Salmon over his head. Sirakoski now around the body to Stewie Lowe. Will kick from about 45 metres. Kick looks pretty good. Stewie's kicked his 4th.
Well, the great part about that piece of play was the outriding system that Stan Els has got in place. When you've got someone who can mark the ball like Stuart Lowe, where you put him out as an outrider on the 50-metre line where he may be able to contest and mark. But here we have the quick rebound from Sirakoski, come across, finds Lowe on the 50, and a good kick from some 40 metres out.
To Hawthorn's 9th behind. Kicks to Burke. Burke hitting the ball running. Offloads. Good mark by Sirakoski.
And Everett's been dragged by Stan Els. He'll come in and speak to him on the phone. He certainly doesn't want that under some play.
Burke on the follow-up, looking for Lowe. Good punch by Graham, but Lowe on the ground. The goal. Great goal to Stewie Lowe. Everett spent about a minute on the bench earlier in this second term for giving away a free kick for taking away a certain goal to Stewie Lowe. Sirakoski's been busy at centre forward. Great pass to Stewie Lowe, right in front of his face, into the big buckets. Stewie has kicked 5 straight. Excellent effort by the burly full forward from St Kilda.
Well, there is nothing that Mark Graham, the fullback for Hawthorn, could do in that situation. Ball well presented out in front of Lowe, reaching forward, meeting it as early as he possibly could.
Lowe will kick directly in front from about 45. Kick looks good off the boot. Good for Stewie, good for St Kilda. 2 big boys. Salmon gets the punch, makes about 10 metres, allows Rod Keogh to set it up. Daniels kicks quickly, finds Vidovic. Good strong work by Lazar.
Well, this is Vidovic's 5th mark for the evening, and I've been very impressed with his game. He's worked tirelessly in the ruck and across the midfield down to half forward. He's always been floating down, offering opportunities for players to give it to him, and now has the opportunity to kick another goal.
You mentioned about Jason Daniels not being a good kick. There was a beautiful pass across his body to find Vidovic. I think it was deliberate. Anyway, Vidovic deliberately puts it through the middle for St Kilda. Very happy with that one, Laser. Doesn't kick many, but when he does, he's very happy with that.
Jason Taylor do that. The side's just trying to get back into the game, and you go and do something. Go and sit on the bench, son.
Well, that's what probably Ken Judge will tell him. At a crucial stage, as I mentioned, if St Kilda get the first goal, it's 4 goals. If Hawthorn get the first, it's 2 goals, and virtually anybody's ball game. Beveridge has already kicked 1 goal.
Set play here, Peter.
You like those signals,
It
right,
is,
don't
it's
you?
always I know it is, because they split and they allow a space for Everett or Stewie Lowe.
Everett.
There it is. players get in front of the full forward and they all lead and split, creating a big corridor for the full forward to lead into.
It's like smoke signals in the old westerns, isn't it? Everett, pretty acute angle. Let's see what he does. Will he banana it or run around? Oh, doesn't have to. Splits the uprights. Great goal, Everett. And you could say just about the ball game, I reckon.
Low, bit of pressure on from Low, good body work. Aussie Jones has followed up beautifully. He'll show a bit of pace. He has a bounce. He's on his left foot. Drives into the goals. Kick looks pretty good, but not good enough. Just one behind.
That's where he's let himself down this year. Just 3 goals and 8 behinds for the season to young Austin Jones. But gee, what a display of pace and skill we had there.
It's good. He's only young, Terry, so obviously he's got to learn from those sort of things.
Graham kicks in for Hawthorn. Andy Collins. Matthew Young gives chase. And the ball's going to be Joe McLaren out of bounds on the outer side. Close to centre wing. 14.5 minutes left in the match. Still time for the Hawks to get up if they're good enough. But the Saints seem to have the answers. Sirakoski and Lawrence. 4 goals is the margin they have to make up. Sirakoski taps down. The Hawks intercept. It's Condon's kick. And it's another turnover. Coughlin gives it off. Harvey brushes one tackle. And that's good to Burke. Darren Burke at midfield for St Kilda. Oh, courage needed there. The Hawks with the numbers at ground level. Graham needs to get rid of it quickly and does. Out towards Platten at centre wing. The bounce a little bit too quick for him. Like a topspin lob in tennis. It bounced away from him, gave him no chance. So throw in at centre wing, right in the middle of the interchange gates. Fox says we have 14 minutes left in the match. Hawks need a couple of quick goals to give them any chance. Vidovic flips it up. Harvey couldn't handle it. Hand pass comes out to Taylor from Crawford. Richard Taylor has to backpedal a little bit out towards Chick. Marking contest, 1-on-1. Joel Smith gets up quicker. Graham cannoned into Chick. Hawks trying to get some run down the outer flank. It's Andy Collins. And it'll be a mark. Holland. He looks like a prize fighter. Back to Collins again. And the little chip for Hudson. It's not quite working as well as it could have. Still Collins goes, but the Saints with the manpower down there, the defence has stood firm all night. Pritchard on Coughlin. Will that be a free kick, you would reckon?
Yep, when the ball's dead like that, it's clearly out of bounds. Coughlin there just relaxes his body. Pritchard comes in. No, we don't need that.
Clever play. McLaren's got a sore head. Doesn't look well. What happened there?
Yeah, in there with Andy Collins' knee just to knock around the head.
Hopefully he's okay. Platten off the ground. Straight back under the pack, Johnny Platten and Nathan Burke. 2 gutsy little rovers. Both had good games. Burke's had 18 touches and the Rat has had 15. So Nathan Burke taking the honours there. 24 points in favour of St Kilda. Vidovic gets the tap. McLaren seems to be okay now, back under the pack. Taylor to Woods, gets a rush kick that's smothered. Now it's broken clear. Only to be intercepted by Keogh. Off the ground by Beveridge. Pack forms again. They're all calling for free kicks. Daniel Chick wants to push in the back. Mark Prince says, give it to me. And there'll be another bounce.
Hargraves might have hurt his knee there.
Ooh. "65 metres out from Hawthorn goal. Harvey unable to get a possession. Pritchard burrowing in. Hard stuff. Condon. Nathan Burke leading John Platten. Burke kicks it off the ground close to the boundary line. Jamie Shanahan in front of Dunstall, taking the honours so far tonight. An excellent game from Jamie Shanahan. Tight, relentless, and very miserly fullback.
Well, he hasn't had too many kicks, Jamie Shanahan, but I tell you what, he has blanketed Dunstall right throughout the night. One of those difficult things when you have to give votes. Should we put him in? Because he's chopped Dunstall down to nothing.
Yeah, very important, Peter. Very important contribution. Ball over the boundary line. Another throw in front of Jason Daniels, and we understand that Ray Jenke is off the ground with a knee injury. Hopefully it's only a minor one, but obviously with those sort of things, it's not. We don't know for a couple of days.
So Vidovic and Taylor, Crawford. The Saints gaining some 10 to 15 metres. It beats McLaren over the boundary line for a throw-in. We approach the halfway mark of the final quarter, and still the margin fairly substantial at 4 goals in favour of the Saints. Harvey and Woods. Vidovic, Taylor, Condon, Keogh. It's Condon that finally wins it. His opposite number 3, Burke, who's been terrific. Dragged off it when he didn't have it. Saint fans looking for a free kick. They probably will get one. Burke's going back to Fox the footy.
He's been right in at Burke all night, hasn't he? He'd be getting up around his 20 disposals here at this stage, and all very well earned.
Nathan Burke. Yes, he's been consistent in the 4 quarters. Lawrence off his hands to Young. One-on-one duel, pushing and shoving. Graham, Everett, Crawshay. Big fellow did well for Hawthorn. Lawrence. Stevenson. Started on the bench for the Hawks. A nice little flip-up gave Hudson his first goal. Marking contest down there. Beveridge has come up with the footy. Nick Beveridge at his 3rd AFL club. Played 42 games for Melbourne, 31 for Footscray. And very foggy here now at Waverley. Burke to half forward and low in front of Andy Collins. He's kicked 6 goals so far. Probably won't get that record. Looked on target early. Crawshay has taken the mark. Well, Stevenson, I won't say he was asleep, but he did have his back to the player there. Could have proved costly. Kick from Pritchard comes up to Chick. Likewise, he couldn't mark it. Great gather by Burke. Well, he nearly gathered it. Taylor comes in. Likewise, Chick. Taylor comes up with a footy, but it is very, very slippery. It's not raining, but it may as well be. So a bounce close to the centenary sign, which is adjacent to the centre square. Keogh, he's been pretty consistent as well. McLaren, another hand pass, comes out to Harvey, who goes at goal. Oh! A poster. And if the Saints aren't home, that certainly would have been the clincher. Robert Harvey has to settle for only a minor score. Crawshay.
Crawshay takes the kick, plays on quickly outside 50, up to centre wing now. Nick Holland takes the second bite after Peter Everett. Gets the 1-2 from Crawford. Crawford gets the 1-2-3 and now drives it forward looking for Taylor. Taylor can't mark. Good pressure by Daniels. Raffle up between Stevenson and Crawford. Stevenson's the one that gets the kick. Platten a chance. Harvey again. He's everywhere. Beveridge now to mop up for St Kilda. Nathan Burke takes the mark on centre wing. Plays on quickly. Off to Coghlan. Coghlan now drives up long. Stewie Lowe. Good chest mark by Lowe. Plays on quickly. Sierakowski in the pocket over his head. If he can scoop it back in. Andy Collins to wrap it up for Hawthorn to take it out of bounds. Andy Collins been busy. Premiership player, best and fairest, champion for Hawthorn. A short stint with Fitzroy in the early 80s, but now found his mark with the Hawks. Lawrence and Lowe. Lowe knocks it back to Smith over the back of the pack. Clever stuff. Lowe back in amongst it. Vidovic, bit slow. Now there's a bit of a wrestle. It's Condon and Jones, and there'll be a ball up about 35 metres out from the St Kilda goal on about a 45-degree angle. .25 points for the Saints. Joel Smith taken without the ball. Sierakowski over the top. able to unload a bit of it, kicks it quickly, and the ball is out of bounds. The ball will be thrown in directly adjacent to the behind post. St Kilda forward line. Everett lurking. Crawshay, Burke unable to take it. A lot of pressure. Graham relieves the pressure for Hawthorn. Kicks the ball close to the boundary line. Rod Keogh been very busy tonight. Goes in broad. Great vision by Keogh, finding Sirakoski, who set up a defensive wall, able to take the kick from 50. Drives it in long towards the square. Over the top of Lowe and hit the post for one behind.
Stuart Lowe with 6 goals and I think 7 kicks. Mark Graham has done a relatively very good job. I mean, to restrict a quality opponent like that to those kicks, it's just been stiff, but he's been in goal range each time. 26
points the difference. Crawford marks it, right half back for the Hawks. Under 9 minutes left in the match. And time running out for them. A couple of quick ones would give them a little bit of a possibility of bridging the gap, but as I said, time is fast running out. Crowd of just over 30,000 tonight, 30,225, and they've paid $160,707 for the pleasure of the match here. And that's not bad, especially as it's live on Optus. We hope you're enjoying it. Joel Smith over the top. McLaren was there. Crawford likewise. Umpire says free kick Hawthorn. Crawford's looking for 50 metres. He's not going to get it. And Jack Daniels gives it back to him. Crawford is at right centre wing. Daniels has done a pretty good job, as he always does. Hudson couldn't take the mark. Beveridge fumbles likewise. Platten. How did he get out of there? Well played, Rat. Inside 50. The bouncing ball is going to be snaffled though by Robert Harvey. On to Wakeland. And the Hawthorn forward line there and then in disarray. Gee, that was just about a mark. Under these conditions, you could almost pay that. Everett does well for a big fellow, for any fellow for that matter under these conditions. It's a slippery pill. Austin Jones, you go on, Aussie. Great tackle, Steve Lawrence. The umpire calls advantage.
No, he doesn't.
He waved his arm in a bowling type fashion. That meant play on. Pritchard now does play on, because the Hawks realise that time is running out for them. Darren Pritchard's kick will land inside 50. No markers taken down there. A foot race needed down here, picked up by Young. And Matthew Young goes educatedly for the boundary line against his old club. He'd be pretty happy with the scoreboard at the moment. And it's out of bounds on centre wing. Just under 9 minutes left in the match. Boundary throw in next to the interchange gates, or in fact in the middle of them. So a long time between drinks for the Hawks. And that will suit the Saints. Out of bounds again, you would think. No, Matthew Young, has he? No, he hasn't kept it in.
Now that statistic there of how long it has been since Hawthorn has scored really depicts where they're at the moment. They haven't been able to resurrect their forward line since that latter part of the third quarter there, where they picked up their last goal at the 28-minute mark.
Pritchard to Crawford. Crawford at left centre wing, still he goes. Condon says keep going, and he does. He spears the pass over the head of Trevelyan. Dunstan, he's kicked it 40 metres in the other direction, certainly accidentally. Taylor. Great tackles from Shanahan. Umpire lets it go. Picked up by Everett. Here come the Saints again.
Everett, the rubber man, is bent down, using his back beautifully. Done it all night. Stewie Lowe unable to keep the ball in play. For a big man, Peter.
Well, doesn't this gladden the heart here? Here's the fullback who's done a tremendous drop on Jason Dunstall, being prepared to follow down the ground and lay a perfect tackle.
Peter Everett, 6'10", swoops on the ball and picks it up as cleanly as you like. Very clever stuff. Sirakoski now gives it to Daniels. Crawford now mops up for Hawthorn, but I think there might have been a free kick. It's called to Daniels against Pritchard for holding without the ball.
Yeah, they're just hanging on in the tackle. They're just too long. And this year, there have been a lot of players who have been rightfully pinged because of that.
Now, Jack Daniels, we know, isn't a great kick.
kick looks pretty good. It's in the goal square. Everett now off the pack. Goes right across the face of goal and bounces just inside the line for a throw in.
I'm going to ask you a question, boys. When was the last time Dunstable was held goals?
Well, Terry's the man. He should know that one.
That's the best hand pass you've ever given.
That's a long, long time ago, I'd suggest.
Crawshay and Everett. Vidovic over the top. Daniels a chance. Concedes some ground to Keogh, and umpire Prince decides to bounce the ball 30 metres out, directly in front.
Wasn't it Scotty Turner from Richmond?
Yes, last year.
Mid-season last year.
Good call, Terry.
You're right again, though. It hasn't been too many times.
Oh, no.
So we see a bounce. There's always a good trivia question over Peter Hudson, and Barry Richardson was one. Burke has a ping at goals. Has missed. One behind to Nathan Burke. He's played a crackerjack game. 16 and 5. 12-8 to 7-11. So the Saints are going to go on and record a win. Graham goes out wide. Crawford. Pritchard. Hand pass over the top to Collins. Andy Collins, the veteran back pocket player, 170-plus consecutive games. Coughlin, has he taken the mark? Not allowed by the umpire. Good pressuring from Platten. Harvey, oh gee, it's like a piece of soap out there. Burke couldn't handle it. The Saints, chain of hand passes. Here they come again. Can they get another one on the board before the siren? Crawshay went for the punch and has come down with the mark in front of Everett. Crawshay, late inclusion for Langford. Lawrence missed one. Chick. Great tackle by Wakeland. Ball jarred free in that tackle. And it's going to be a ball up. We saw Stevenson come up a little proppy there too. Grabbed his knee. Jenke is off the ground with a knee injury. We're not quite sure how severe that is. He won't be coming back. 53 plays 80. Pritchard off the ground. Platten, good tackle down there by Wakeland. Lawrence off the ground. Kick is by Chick. Huge pack of players there. No. And Shanahan is kicked out of bounds and on the full. That's about the only mistake he's made all night. And the free kick is going to be taken for the Hawks by Jason Taylor. No, it's not. It's going to be taken by Paul Hudson. Probably a better option. He's kicked 4 goals, 1. Probably too far out. Ball a little bit heavy with this dew on it. Big fly was Lawrence. And the Saints again come away. Shanahan has did a mighty job down there in defence. Harvey, he's played a fantastic game for the Saints. Good gather. Excellent gather on centre wing. The forward line pretty open too. Low in front of Graham. Low, magnificently done from the champ. Gets onto his left foot. Spears the pass in. That is great footy. And Young has taken the mark. And the 2 number 23s race back to the goal square. Let's look at this.
It's not bad on the left, is it?
Well,
perfect position.
And Peter Hudson, when he was general manager down there at St Kilda, had a lot to do with Stewie Lowe's improved kicking. And the Hawks are paying for it tonight. Young could take a few lessons as well. Everett late on the scene. Jones kicks. He snaps. And what's he done? Has he got it? Yes, he has. That is the ball game.